to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast, or is it Pistons Playoff Podcast? Hey, look at us, everybody! Or if you're listening to the pod, the three of us have Pistons shirts on as they are currently in the playoffs against the Knicks. So my thank you to Kevin and Joe for showing up. I know they're they have other exciting things going on, other distractions, but they came to show up for the pod nonetheless, guys. All right, what do we got? 47-45? Did I see that?
48-47.
Okay, all right. Look at up to the minute scores live here on That Wrestling Podcast. And Jason may or may not be joining us, but he's here in spirit because, as Kevin likes to say, fun fact, he gave us these Pistons shirts. So
Yay,
Jay.
Yay, Jay.
I'm sorry, what's his name?
Yay.
The algorithm, yes.
Yes.
Hopefully he gets on. We can tell the finish of that story, too. We haven't got to discuss that on the pod yet either. So yeah, it is myself and Joe and Kevin here to take you through the weekend and the week that was in professional wrestling. Of course, we did our post-show reactions after night 1 and night 2 of Wrestlemania. So if you want our full thoughts of kind of just right after the shows happened, go onto our YouTube or the podcast page, and you'll be able to find that just that easy. So we won't go into too much detail on it unless Jason does pop in. And if he does, we just want to hear everything more about Las Vegas because he was, of course, in Allegiant Stadium for both nights of WrestleMania. So let's kick things off, though, talking about the aftermath of WrestleMania. And we talked about it, Kev, and the world all agreed of just like, where was The Rock? We got Travis Scott, but we didn't get The Rock. And yeah, Rock didn't have time for WrestleMania. There were some people going, well, maybe he'll be on Raw. Okay, all right, I could buy that. And he was not on Raw. But he did make it to Pat McAfee's show on Tuesday to talk about everything Rock. And they asked him, of course, everybody thought you'd be at Mania. Where were you? And he went on to say that he didn't think the final boss was needed for the story of Cena and Cody. He didn't want to take away from just the two of them and Cena going for 17. And again, everybody, I don't think anybody said, oh yeah, that makes sense. Where everybody seems to be united and going, no, you had to be there.
Yeah.
This seems like a big mistake. When you heard this answer and just the reasoning of why, are you just completely calling bullshit? Because I think that's the universal opinion here.
Well, now he's backtracking on it. If you saw his tweet to Dave LaGreca.
Yeah, right.
Hey, even interviews are part of the story.
Oh,
just sit back and relax. This could be like, so he's like playing it off like that. Oh, this was all part of the plan. I'm 20 steps ahead. That's what he said at the Elimination Chamber press conference, which you guys were sleeping during, but I think you were. I was awake for it. And they were like, well, bad blood. It didn't make any sense. Oh, this was all part of the plan. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of in the mood. I'm in the mindset of I'm sad about it. Not sad that it didn't show up. Sad over the fact that this is what people are talking about instead of the fact that John Cena won 17.
Fair.
Like when he had his pop and circumstance and 17 was on the screen, I went to bed, but then I saw the next day and all the thing online was, well, where was The Rock? Where was The Rock? Where was The Rock? I'm like, Cena got 17 and it's not the story. And that's what makes me sad about it. I'm not mad. I'm sad.
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's absolutely how it's played out. Kev, again, we talked about it briefly.
Yeah.
Just going like Travis Scott, and we all were just like, what? Like super long intro with a theme song that we heard 50 times over the course of 2 days.
Right.
And even, what else too, Kev? They were selling, finally The Rock has come back to Vegas shirts. So this seems just like a huge mistake that he didn't show. I don't know how he couldn't have seen how, like, this would have been a thing that he shouldn't have been at.
It's almost like false advertising.
Almost.
It's almost
hard
like
subject to change.
Yeah.
but it's him saying this was the final boss. I wasn't needed. In the words of Tony Schiavone, well, that will put butts in the seats,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes, WrestleMania was sold out, but the fact where they thought Travis Scott was what was needed, I know we went into pretty good
Yeah.
detail in the night before. I just think it was shitty. I think it was a stupid excuse. And it's like, oh, are you the final boss? Technically, if he's gonna be the final boss character in video games, the final boss, yes, you're the biggest, baddest, but you're supposed to lose against somebody, right? I don't want to see him just throwing the fingers, doing this, and then woo, the weird thing at Elimination Chamber. Like, it's all booty, all dumb.
Yeah.
But hey, if we're all being played, I don't know. If anyone can go back and forth and make something, about circle it around him. Oh, I wasn't needed. Oh, it's all part of the story, maybe.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I'm not buying it. I don't see it. I don't think it's gonna be a big reveal eventually. The Mania is where you do like the aha moment, and it didn't happen. And yeah, that's just the misstep in the whole everybody, the whole Elimination Chamber turn for Cena. It was so well done, and we've all said how, probably second or maybe third biggest heel turn moment ever. And then Cena didn't go on like Raw for 2 weeks, and then finally showed up, and Rock hasn't been on since. And it's there's missing pieces. Like Cena's never addressed The Rock. The only mention was Cody saying to Cena that he sold out to The Rock and not me. It's just weird, and I get all what you guys are saying. So I don't know. It's definitely been the lead story, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see how it gets better.
I look at it as it wasn't needed. Cena could have just gave the low blow after Cody came out after Cena won at Elimination Chamber and did the same thing
Yeah,
without The Rock and Travis Scott there. He could have done the exact same thing and it would be fine. Having The Rock there made people think like, okay, he sold out to him, but he didn't. Like, seriously, think about it. You eliminate The Rock and Travis Scott from that moment at the end of Elimination Chamber, and Cena still does the low blow to Cody. Does that change anything for the way the storyline went out with Cena going into WrestleMania?
Not at all, because
Not at
of
all.
the no involvement with The Rock.
So because of that,
Yeah,
I think it taints the heel turn. I don't think it's like 2 or 3 overall anymore. I think it goes down because the focus was on The Rock. It wasn't on Cena. So I think it goes down. Like it doesn't like go, I'm not being extreme going like, oh, it's like now it was 2, now it's 285 right behind when Big Show turned on Daniel Bryan at Night of Champions 2013 or whatever. Like it's not that.
No.
But I think it taints it a little bit because Cena could have just turned heel on his own.
Right. Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. Kev, any final word on it all? Because
I think even with The Rock going away, the point of Travis Scott still being in there is the main event situation. How you throw him in there, because when he stands next to Cena, it makes Cena look stupid.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It makes it look. Let alone he raps his own theme song. He put out a rap album, right? And that fun stuff. It just looks stupid. That's all.
Yeah. All right. We'll see if and when anything else happens with that world. Couple other quick like Mania Fallout stuff that I've seen a lot of people have opinions on. Let's talk about Joe Hendry, and we talked about it a little bit again. So thanks Joe for doing that.
You said his name. Is he on?
I know. Well, he's got to be here somewhere. I think TNA is on right now as we record, so he very well may if we flipped it on. But yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, of course, being the surprise opponent for Randy Orton. And I know Greg mentioned it. I mentioned it too. Of course, Orton with that fantastic RKO and the camera work of the pose and everything. That was so good. And we both said like, the only thing I didn't like was the second one after he kind of was, raising his hand and like showing the respect. And a lot of people said like, man, that was a Barry Joe Henry. I think what's important is at least anything Joe Henry I've seen online, and I saw he did an interview this week with Ariel Helwani, he's over the moon happy. He's like, was at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. I found out a week before WrestleMania, they called me and said, hey, would you want to do this? So where do you guys fall on this? Because I've certainly seen a lot the other way of, and like I said, me and Greg kind of were alluding to it like, ooh, that second one. The second one kind of hurts a little bit. Joe, you weren't on with us Sunday. Let me give you the floor first.
Okay, wasn't a Barry at all. It couldn't have made his stock rise any higher. He is historic now. He is the first current member of the TNA roster to be on WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He's faced Hall of Famer Randy Orton. Okay? 63,000 people, and he's in the ring, and they were all cheering when you heard the say his name and the theme go on. It's like he was so over at that point. And the match was perfect. It didn't need to go any longer. If it went longer, it would have been boring.
Yeah.
It had to be quick. Orton does what he does. And the second RKO, it fits Randy's character. He gives everyone an RKO. Who hasn't had an RKO from Randy? Good guy or bad guy? So anyone who says he's buried is just like, I have to wholeheartedly disagree. And I love what Joe Henry said on NXT on Tuesday. When
right.
Trick Williams was like, hey, what's up, Minuteman? He's like, I was in the ring with Randy Orton and you were in the audience.
Yeah.
So it's like,
good.
dude, like he lived a moment. He has merch for WrestleMania. A current TNA rostered member has WWE merchandise with WrestleMania.
It's a great point.
Is that a burial?
Can't
And
say
he showed up.
And he showed up because enough people said his name.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been happier that it happened. And even when the match was over with, I'm like, that was perfect. I wish I was on with you guys Sunday night because that was like such a high. After that, it kind of went down WrestleMania because it was so high on that one. But no, it's not a burial. And I think it's just people like historically going back to, well, Taz was the ECW champion, but Taz was a WWE rostered member. Doesn't count. I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Would you call him a winner of WrestleMania weekend?
Yes, I would, because he's historic. He is the only TNA rostered member to ever be on WrestleMania.
Yeah. Kevin, any other thoughts on it from, we had our immediate reaction Sunday night. So you've seen the discourse and the fallout for the last couple days.
Joe mentioned the NXT. It was quick between him and Trick in the ring, and he said it perfectly. He just backed him up, and you saw him smile, and he was just so happy. Like, dude's on cloud nine, and it's clear that whenever his contract is up, he's WWE bound. Like, WWE is making it known to the crowd, hey, you guys like him? Just wait.
This is like his NXT run, because when he does sign, he will go main roster.
Oh, immediately.
You'd have to think so. Yeah. At this point.
Nicely said, Kevin.
Yeah. The other one that was kind of the fallout was what happened with Bayley. Of course, we found out on the pre-show of night one that she had been attacked. We didn't see an attack, but, it was the old, Bayley, what happened? And she's like clutching her leg, I believe it was.
It was a shoulder.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That, of course, was going to be a night two match with her and Lyra versus Liv and Raquel. We know Becky Lynch replaced her, and we'll get into what happened on Monday in just a few. But I saw a lot of people, and maybe the biggest one was, the former Baron Corbin, his real name, Tom Pestock, I want to say, or Bishop Dyer is his new character. In the moments or the show after Mania basically said, how much she is loved in the locker room, how respected she is, and somebody like her absolutely needs and deserves to be on WrestleMania every single time. What do you make of this? Because, this is, again, a pillar of the women's division. And especially maybe you look at it in a different lens with what happened with Becky Lynch and Lyra come Monday, because they had a big moment Sunday, and Monday we know that all went to the shitter.
You guess you never know, right? It
Yeah.
could be all in the cards to The Rock, right? You're never off. Maybe it's
Well, no,
uh
Kev, I'll stop you right there. Before you go further, it was enough that happened on Saturday that in Sunday's post WrestleMania show, the press conference with Triple H, when he's going over everything, he says, like, guys, Bayley's gonna be fine.
yeah.
Okay, like it's gonna be fine because they saw everybody. Bayley's a popular wrestler, and saw everybody online saying like, how could you do this to Bayley to have her, miss WrestleMania? So to your point, there may be something more going on too.
I think if Bailey would have lost against Liv and Raquel, cool. If you would have had Lyra and Bailey beat Liv and Raquel, say if it was opposite, right? Maybe it's a situation where they wanted Bailey to turn heel on Lyra and then Becky squeezed in. You know what I mean? There's a lot of inner pieces, but I loved it how Liv and Raquel lost and then regained it and then had a killer match in NXT. It's like 3 nights in a row.
Right.
They had great matches. I've been a hard mindset against Raquel. I think Raquel in those 3 matches, that was some of the best stuff she's ever done on the main roster. Uh, I just feel like it would have been totally different. So if it was in the plans and Bailey is still going to be there, cool. Say if there's something and Bailey leaves, hey, who knows? But I think she'll be just fine as well. I got to put my faith in Triple H because if he wouldn't say something like that, if there was going to be some ill will of say her wanting to leave.
I mean, are we going to connect the dots and say that Becky took out Bayley backstage?
That's the only thing that makes
to
sense
connect
to
the
me.
dots, Joe? I mean, what's your take on it all?
Well, my original take was I kind of wish that Lyra was the one taken out and Becky and
Yes, you
Bailey
did
would have
say
been
that.
together. I wanted that because I sent you my notes for the night.
Correct. Yeah, that was a good thought.
That's what I wanted to see. But you know what? This is all just building up Bailey. That's the thing. When she comes back, she's gonna get a huge monster like return because she got screwed over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I didn't think it was like really a point. I felt bad for her, but in reality, would you rather just had her be in an 8-minute match and lose the match? Or now when she comes back, she's like cheered even more.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Two, again, I would love to see that. And three, as a joke, I'm like, you know what? Naomi did it. She attacked her. Let's just blame Naomi. It was her.
Yeah. You
Why
never
not?
know.
You
But
never know.
I don't like these former WWE wrestler stars coming out and like basically trying to say something that they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know if Bailey was like in on this. They don't know. Unless like she's saying this to them, I don't know because I'm not involved in it either. But like, Mercedes is like, "Oh, come on over here."
I
Why?
did see that.
Why? So
Yeah.
you can beat her too and everyone else? Give me a break. Just so you can have your bestie there to lose, like so you can have her lose to you? No.
Yeah.
Um, Corbin, I mean, he's been awesome since he's been released, and it's like I'd love to see him back, but I think he was just basically going like his Bailey so love backstage, and I think her love backstage is going to give her a big moment. And let's not forget, a year ago she won the Rumble and won the title. She had her WrestleMania moment.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, not everybody can be on top every moment of every year of every big show. And
Yeah.
yeah, last year she was a huge year with winning the Rumble, winning the title on night
Getting
2 of
her
WrestleMania.
redemption story for her proteges turning on her. She had an amazing WrestleMania 40 build
Mhm.
and match. And it was like what, match of the night?
It might have been. Well,
I think I remember
people
it was
thought
being so
Cody
good.
and Roman, but
And
yeah,
EO,
it's
and
up there.
EO does it again. I mean,
Oh,
look at
yeah.
a year ago too, like with the women's division. Bianca was part of a tag team that just like opened, like not even open. It was like in the middle of night one. And then she has like match of the weekend.
Hmm.
So like you gotta like go with the fact that not every single top star has to be a WrestleMania moment. You have your moments, you can live off that for a little bit and then have another one later. If you have it every year, what happens? The fans turn on you. like Cody and Bianca, and that's just the way it is. No one's going to be happy. So let's just wait to see how this one plays out.
So let me ask you this. Would you consider her a loser of WrestleMania weekend?
No, I see her as an unfortunate circumstance of WrestleMania weekend because her 2025 is going to be way bigger than it was if she was in the match.
Well, neither a winner nor a loser. There can only be one algorithm.
Yeah, that's
Jason's
right.
made it. Thank you, Jason.
I got about 5 minutes on the clock, and then I gotta go.
You gotta go. Bye. Well, that's somebody else's gimmick.
You say his name and he appears.
All right. Well, then we need to get the 5-minute. What happened with you at WrestleMania weekend in Vegas that you haven't shared with us already?
I feel like TKO's ruining WWE.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Much like when Endeavor bought the UFC, things went sideways off the jump. And what I mean by that from the UFC standpoint was the rankings didn't matter anymore. It was all about super fights so that Endeavor could make back their $4 billion investment. Now, what I mean by TKO ruining WWE, and I'm not like an old school traditionalist, and it's not even like, I care that much, but like very over advertising. I can't think of the word I really want to say, but
I got
there's
you.
just a lot. And like, even, my favorite thing in the world about wrestling is merchandise. And at the World Superstore, they had their stuff, but they really have tapped into the streetwear brands. The one that comes to mind is the Antisocial Social Club. You can look that up if you don't know, but they did a lot of WWE shirts. There was a lot of brands I had never heard of. And like, I feel like I'm sure someone's watching this and like, you're an old fuck. Get with the times. It just doesn't feel right.
Okay.
And after my weekend, here we are, 4 days later. I feel good about my decision to take a break for a while. I didn't even want to come on tonight, but I do a lot of things for this show that I probably shouldn't, i.e. the fucking LJN ring that I won last week, Brian, you asshole.
I'm glad you brought that up. We needed to close the chapter of what happened from the last full podcast. So congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I won the ring. It should be here tomorrow.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay.
It's not here yet. I mean, I really haven't been home since I got back from Vegas, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like I need a break from wrestling, and I feel like I've said that before. Yeah. Maybe after a WrestleMania or after something or another, but highlights for me, the women's match was great. The triple threat.
Oh, yeah.
The main event of night one saved night one, and the card for night two saved the main event of night two.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Right.
And I know on the post shows I talked about being light out is a problem. Yeah. I haven't watched anything back, so I don't know what the deal is. But again, there was a lot of stuff that shouldn't have been on that card. The New Day, yeah, they dress like Giant Gonzalez and they run the titles again by cheating, but like that could have been on SmackDown. I would have preferred the Andre the Giant Battle Royal be on the card instead of some of the matches that were there.
It was good this year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, look, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot right now, and I don't know if it's my time is up or is my time now. I don't know.
Are you gonna start showing a countdown of days of like Cena on Raw? You gotta do a countdown of like how many days left for the podcast.
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of dates that I'm gonna be missing over the next month or so, but I don't know, man. It's over. It's done with. I hate Twitter. I hate wrestling Twitter more than anything.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's a lot.
There have been some tweets that I made social posts that people aren't happy with, including people on this. Oh, I dropped my phone.
Uh-oh. Whoop. Jason, are you there? We've lost you. Jason, are you there?
think so.
We can't see you. We can hear you. Okay, there you go.
All right.
All right.
What was I saying? Oh,
Twitter.
Hate wrestling
There's
Twitter.
There's people on the show who
I had
disagree with you.
social. I had social post some things, and someone on this show was not happy that I did that.
There were some
And
inflammatory statements. Yeah.
dude, Dwayne is the new Hulk.
All right.
McAfee's trash.
Oh my God.
Gunther did the WWE Universe a favor by choking him out.
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. Let's talk about Joe Hendry.
We already did, but
Yeah,
let's hear
give us your take.
Let's see.
I don't get it. I don't think he is anything other than a meme. What the fuck?
He
He
is
didn't
John
even
Cena.
Yeah, he didn't even say his name to appear. He just
You were
his
very
went off there.
high on Joe Hendry before.
Well,
He
no, I
came-
wasn't high on him. I just thought it was cool. But like,
Yeah.
look, the crowd pop was great. It was a very big surprise, and I liked that. But just thinking back now, like, he's a meme. I would have rather had Shinsuke Nakamura come out and battle Randy. I would have preferred Nick Aldis. Seriously, like that was the one. This was
Yeah.
his opportunity, but it didn't happen. And I have defended Joe Hendry to the jackasses on wrestling Twitter. It wasn't a burial. It wasn't a squash. If Randy didn't sell anything for him, then it would have been a burial. Then it would have been a squash. So look, more people know who Joe Hendry is now compared to last Saturday because of this appearance. And I think somebody said he showed up on NXT this week.
He
Like,
did.
look, it's cool. We're getting shit that we've never gotten before, and that's cool. But for me, I would have rather had a rostered talent or even somebody from NXT that was, trying to make a name for themselves. So there's that. And then there's this Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker thing. I think that's cool too. Of course, the internet being the fucking internet. Oh, they're Evolution 2.0. No, they're not. They're just some dudes hanging. They're not the Dangerous Society or Alliance or whatever his crew was. Like, it is just fucking be surprised. Why do we need to know everything? Why do the idiots need to leak the footage from the roast? Like, why? None of that's necessary. Everyone has to be first. Everyone has to have a scoop. Everyone has to have whatever. Stop that. Just stop, man. Stop.
It's a lot. It can be a lot.
I will now take questions from the panel.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you prefer Joe Hendry or Joe TWP?
I feel that is a clickbait question, and I'm not going to answer that. Next question, please. Joe, do you have anything?
My question for you is, you said, which of the Triple H belts did you buy? Because he has 4 of them.
Oh, that's one of the questions I had. Are we playing the merchandise number game, guys?
No, because I thought about that, and it's very douchey, and I'm not trying to be a douche anymore.
All right.
So I'm not going to talk about the money I spent. I'll send you
spent
that.
a lot.
I did not. There is a
Yeah,
video.
I bought all the belts.
Online. I saw a guy online. If he was doing it for clout or he's a douche like I used to be, he spent $7,000 on merchandise.
Oh,
He
my
bought
stupid.
belts and the Undertaker urn and autographed this, that, and the other. I didn't do that. I
That's
bought,
terrible.
realistically, I think I got, between me and my wife, we got 3 hoodies,
Okay.
3 t-shirts, a long sleeve, and I got my mini belt.
Yep.
My wife is super persistent. The store sold out by the time Friday morning rolled around. And when we got to the stadium, my wife, she was bananas trying to find this. And I was like, it's not a big deal. They were already up on eBay. But sure enough, she found one. And then each night of WrestleMania, they would say, if you go to the World, get the special edition mini belt. So the one I got, the case is like the Vegas sign. Night two, apparently the case was dice. And then the third night, it is a working fucking slot machine, which is the case for the belt. Yeah, you can Google that shit on your own time. But yeah, I did not go crazy. And as far as the Triple H belts, I did not buy it, but I am probably going to pre-order it
Which
this
one?
week. The King of King, the like the skull logo, the that one,
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
the
that's the King
silver
of
one.
Kings one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was probably the best one.
They had the
Yeah,
game, they
That
had
one
the
did look
authority, they had yeah, I think the King of Kings
Evolution,
was
and they had a
Evolution. Yeah.
DX. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that one for now. But I did not buy. Realistically, and I'm putting this on you guys. The next time I will go to a WrestleMania will be if all four of us can go.
All right. Well, we look forward.
WrestleMania 43.
I don't know where that's going to be.
Why is
But
that, Joe?
It
Why?
should be in Detroit.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
WrestleMania
Okay.
3 and WrestleMania 23.
every
It
20
should
years.
be at Ford
Okay,
Field.
makes sense.
It makes
Well,
the
I mean,
most
it's
sense.
probably going to be Minnesota, Tampa, or the new deal they just signed with Orlando. Apparently, WrestleMania 2031 will be in Orlando. They've already, I guess,
Indy,
staked it.
It could be Indy too because they had signed that
Indeed.
deal with them.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I
Um,
look forward to all of us getting like 3 promotions over at our jobs to have the money to afford to go to those
Not-
future WrestleManias.
that's another thing too, man.
My God.
The price of this stuff. I mean, it might be better if you guys just come to my house.
We're okay with that.
Well, I can say something right now. Speaking of prices of tickets, I'm going to Columbus for Raw and I got front row seats.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not trying to like floss on that one. But
Douche.
the Detroit one and Boston and all those go on sale today.
Okay.
And I looked at the same seat.
Oh, okay.
So it's a month later. The same seat is, I kid you not, 70% more
Wow, and you're a
in
teacher. You know
price.
those
Wow.
percentages.
than it is. So they almost doubled the cost
Yeah,
in a month.
I got tickets for Raw in June in Pittsburgh, and I think I paid 140 per ticket, but then obviously after the fees and shit, it's astronomical. So,
Right.
Any other questions?
I
Any
do.
other
Kevin.
questions?
I do. Champ. What? Did you get a tattoo at WWE World?
I will not
Ah.
disclose that
Oh,
information
whoa.
right now.
Clickbait.
Okay.
Clickbait.
Okay.
And that is a clickbait question. I'm just glad you didn't ask me what my Waffle House order was.
Yeah, fuck
Oh.
that. Fuck that.
Fuck
How
that guy.
big?
I'd ask what your sheets order is. We can
Oh,
have a real
I'll tell you that.
we
That's
can have a real
grilled chicken-
conversation there. Yeah.
That's a grilled chicken sandwich with marinara, pepperoni, and provolone,
Oh,
and the 3 cheese mac and cheese as a side.
Yep.
Oh, no chili mac to go, so you can eat it
Not
4
for me.
hours away from your house.
That's me.
Not for me. That's Brian. Brian's chili mac.
Yeah, you
know.
threw in the 4 hours away from your house deal. Yep, guilty.
Yeah.
Hi.
Brian,
It's still good.
Brian is the chili mac daddy of this
Yeah.
Chili
podcast.
Mac Daddy.
Well, yep. Looks like I got a new
Well,
nickname.
Sheets is now just a bicycle ride away from my house because they open in June.
Yeah. Well, guys,
Yeah,
this
buddy.
has been fun, but I got to go because I've been working for about, did I lose you? Oh, no.
Nope,
I
you're
put
good.
in about 25 hours worth of work in 2 days, so I am fucking tired and I got to go. I will text the group. Maybe next Wednesday we can record because I have some other work stuff coming in the next week or two. I'm not a douche. I don't talk money like Joe just did.
I didn't say how much I
Thank
spent.
you for watching, and I will talk to you guys when I talk to you guys.
Got it, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's
Even in 5 minutes, he finds a way to insult me, even though I didn't say how much money I spent. I just said the percentage it went up in a month.
yeah. No, I've been looking at those. I've had some pre-sale for that Detroit show, Joe, and I was like, "Oh, I'm holding off for now," because just looking at those numbers, I'm like, maybe I can find something cheaper, a little closer. We'll see.
Yeah, we were looking at SmackDown Grand Rapids. We're
Mhm.
literally just gonna look 2 days before and see what's
Yeah.
up, or even the day before, and make a game time decision.
I think that's the.
Sometimes that's the cheapest way to go.
Well, before we completely put a bet on WrestleMania, Kev, can you give us an update on the picks and the standing after the 2-night extravaganza?
Brian, I'll say this: you were the king of WrestleMania.
I had the most Mania picks
Individually
right.
alone.
Oh.
You would have won if it was the old regime.
Yeah, we haven't done that. Yeah,
You would have
you're
got
right.
you would have got some shirts.
The old regime. That was under Vince. We used to do that. Not
Vinny
Triple
Mac,
H.
Vinny Mustache Mac. Brian, me and you are tied at 18 points. Joe's still up by 2 at 20. Jason, look at that. First time in double digits 4 months into the year. Congratulations to him. I think that was probably July of last year when he hit the double. He's at 12, and Greg had some, I'll say, some unorthodox style picks. Very high risk, high reward. I'll say
Yes.
type of picks. Some of them didn't turn out, so he's just 2 above Jason, the guest picker at 14. So didn't move too much. Brian,
Yeah.
you moved up a little bit. Joe's still king of the castle.
I didn't think there was too many like shocker results, honestly.
No.
I mean, that's why I guess because I got most of them right, that makes sense in my world. But
Yeah.
I think universally we all thought that.
Pretty straightforward.
It was. It was. Let's go over then. You've kind of teased it a little, Kev. Winners and losers of WrestleMania weekend. I thought we could all maybe, name as many as you can. And it wasn't so much about like, my winner is Jacob Fatu. He won a match. I mean, it can be whatever you want, but that's the idea. Is just we had the Super Bowl of wrestling. Who is a winner in your mind, and who is a loser coming out of the weekend? Joe, you want to go first? Who wants to go first?
Winner of the weekend was Dominic Mysterio.
Oh.
Yeah.
The crowd went nuts for him, and they were chanting him the whole time, "Dirty, dirty Dom, dirty, dirty." He was getting the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes chant during the match.
He was.
Very good.
And I love that I heard that he was going backstage, and they told him, go back and run out to the ring and do another celebration. Like that wasn't planned. And you could just tell he was just loving it. And I think that like he is now he was already established, but now like he's so over. So Dominic was definitely, it was his Mania weekend because
Definitely.
everyone else had a good one. Loser of the weekend, I'm sorry to say this. I think it was Gunther for tapping so quickly. It's just, it still bothers me
Okay.
that his reign kind of went down because of that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. We all said that. Everybody again. Yeah, that same like, ooh, that was quick. And I think I rewatched it and it was like a legit 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So puzzling.
Yeah, it was just dumb.
What are your winners and losers?
I'll say one that didn't involve wrestling. I think I might have told you guys this. That first night, Jey Uso beat Gunther. Watching it with Brett, we're both like standing. The big matches I usually stand like in my living room. I can't just sit down. Like I get excited.
Right.
And towards
like you're
the end,
backstage watching.
When he exactly when he won, like I was just jumping up and down. Brett was jumping up and down, like, and he like gave me a hug. He's like, "Dad, isn't this cool?" And it was
great.
a good moment,
Definitely
a
a
very good
win.
moment. Wrestling related, I'll say, man, just the toughness from Tiffany came out like $1,000,000. Everything that she's done, it's going to propel her just even so much further. That's the biggest thing. Loser, I'd say Bayley. I do. I just feel like it, not necessarily her personally, just everything surrounding her in that situation. But it can easily become a winner later down the road when stuff kind of goes one way, hopefully one way versus the other. That's the great thing about losers. You have a way to do it. Like Joe mentioned, Gunther came out on Monday night. He was pissed. He was pissed off.
We'll get
It was
into
great.
that.
But he attacked announcers, not wrestlers.
But that just shows that he's kind of losing it. That
He's
he'll attack
unhinged.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an example. Loser, or at least in my eyes, right? But you mentioned potentially, I'm throwing in another non-wrestling winner. I mentioned it previously. Slobber knockers are some of the best things you guys can make. Truly. Roll out, and you have to buy the pizza dough inside the roll. You ever have that? Where it like
yeah.
biscuits, but you roll it and you cut that thing just into 16 pieces, put it equal piece size, pizza size, piece size in each muffin tin. Throw some cheese, throw some of your favorite toppings in there. 10 minutes at 425. Those things come out crispy on the edges. They're so good. So good.
Can we do a video tutorial of how to make these? I mean, that's all I watch on YouTube when I'm ready to grill or smoke something is I go on YouTube and I watch, here's how you season this, here's how you prep this. Could that happen maybe for next year, Kev?
Kevin's not
Yes.
Food Network.
Yeah.
When we all are together, I'm going to hold a cooking class.
Yes,
We're all going
yes.
to make our own slobber knockers. I friend of the show, Scott Martin, on our wedding, him and a couple other guys from Fowler, they gave us a basket of Jim Ross barbecue sauce,
Yeah.
jerkies. That's how I have the Jim Ross playing card and his cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have to open that and see if there's like a slobber knocker in there and see what that even is. So
yeah, that's true.
Wait for a special TWP extra.
Yeah.
Kevin's cooking.
We had brews next, and we're gonna have like food first or something.
Food.
I don't know. Gotta come up with a name for how that works. Yeah, cooking with Kev, something.
But
like
no,
that.
I think we can go through every single thing because I feel like it's either a winner or a loser. I don't think there's much middle ground.
Yeah.
Of a gray area. I think it's either one or the other. Like you can literally name a wrestler, boom, winner, loser. Like not like a little bit of both. I think it's just one or the other.
I gotta say, there's one that is in that gray area of
What you
didn't
got?
win or didn't lose. Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
That's what you were saying.
That was mid.
I still haven't watched
forgettable.
it yet. Yeah.
Winner of talent, loser is you don't want to watch it again.
I just didn't. It was just completely forgettable.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's can't.
The
say
highlight
anything.
of that match was the last 30 seconds when Karrion Kross came out.
Yeah, yes.
Like I was
Accurate.
like that was the match I was looking forward to the most. Maybe I'm just like being more critical of it because I thought that was going to be the show stealer, but it was so mid
Yeah.
that it's
What
like
about
it
you,
wasn't a
Brian?
loser, it wasn't a winner, it was just mid.
It's in the mid. Okay.
What about you, Brian?
So I got 4 of each. I'll go.
very nice.
It's like I'm thinking. I was like, this is a good idea. I'll go back and forth. I'll go winner, loser, winner, loser. My number 4 winner is Paul Heyman. He again is going to move on to another main event program, of course, with Seth and now Braun. I mean, the past 5 years as the wise man has been just gold every time. And to tap it off, he was on McAfee's show on Monday. And he's just so good. He goes back and forth and says things that he probably shouldn't say, but he's in his character. He got into Michael Cole a little bit saying like, what's your deal? Are you going to head to Jacksonville? Like, that sort of thing. He was talking about how after the roast of WrestleMania, he was backstage smoking weed with Pat and Pat wasn't passing the puff around. He's like, Pat, it's puff, puff, pass, not puff, 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 puff. And he goes, and you went to me, Pat, and you said, I should be paid as much as Stephen A. Like, and Pat's just like, all right, like, this is not what happened. So, dude's a legend. So he's my number 4 winner. And my number 4 loser is Steve Austin's ATV riding ability.
Oh, yeah.
Not only does he have to crash into the barrier, but Kev the next morning sends the video of him completely missing the ramp to go onto the stage to head down to the ring. So
Can't make that up.
maybe it's time to cool it with the ATV, Steve. I don't know. Too many Steve Weisers before, or the Broken Skull IPAs before the show. I don't know.
Too many beers with the ABV to be driving that vehicle known as the ATV.
Well said. Yeah, so that's my number 4 loser. My number 3 winner, Joe, you mentioned him, Karrion Kross. That was a very cool part of that match, and I've just been seeing a lot of groundswell of people going like, "Hey, this dude's really good," and that we haven't seen since the NXT days. Vegas is his hometown, or at least where he lives. I got to see a little bit of him on the Bloodsport GCW show Friday night. Crowd loved it, and then on Monday, they released a post-Mania interview on like that podcast that they have with Sam Roberts and Megan Morant. And we both, or at least me and Kev, I know we had the same sort of vibe of like, that was a very Miz talking smack type of promo. It's intense. If you haven't, go find it because that was like, holy shit, this is really good. And then the kicker for that one, for Cross is there's video footage of him like walking in Las Vegas, and guy goes up to him and he goes, "Hey, who are you, man?" And Cross goes, "I'm Roman Reigns." And the guy's, "Oh, cool. Are you a wrestler?" And he goes, "No, I'm a stripper. Sorry. I don't know if that's what you're looking for." So just this guy's got a good persona, man. So I hope it keeps going forward for him. My number 3 loser is Roxanne Perez. And it's not really like her herself. It's just, what is the direction with her? Now think about it, guys. She was the runner-up in the Royal Rumble. I think we all thought, all right, now she's going to be main roster and have this nice spot at Mania and on the card. She kind of was doing something with Bayley, and then that never kind of
she was in the chamber.
Yeah, she was in the chamber.
And they were setting up her and Bayley.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. That went away. The last NXT before Stand and Deliver, she's like, I want a spot. She ends up teaming with Cora Jade in a tag match at the show. They lose that. She challenges Stephanie Vaquer on Tuesday at NXT. She loses that. So, like, I'm hoping that means, like, we're completely done with the NXT stuff for her and we can, like, move ahead, because it's just, it's like, yeah, I don't know what she's doing. And it seems like it's been nothing but losses, ever since that impressive Royal Rumble thing. So
maybe SmackDown debut tonight.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be just fine with me. My number 2 winner is Braun Breaker. I think we know why. Of course, he lost the IC title match, but it played out exactly how I hoped. I'm like, Braun's ready for the next thing, the next step up the card, and that's exactly how it played out, moving into this main event program with Seth and Heyman taking on maybe Roman and Punk. So he's my number 2 winner. My number 2 loser, the Hall of Fame. I don't know.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. that it was on. Of course, I didn't watch it. People were falling asleep.
Booker.
Booker T was falling asleep. Jey Uso's wearing his sunglasses, clearly.
I was resting my eyes.
Yeah. Did you see that clip I put on there, Kev? Yeah, they were in the same right. They were in that same theater where for NXT on Tuesday, and Vic Joseph killed me. He goes, "Book, last time you were here, you were asleep." And he's like, I was praying. Okay. Okay, Book. So yeah, it's just, I don't know what you do. Like, can you do it early on Sunday maybe, or you can't be doing. So New Orleans will be Central Time, so maybe it's a little bit earlier, like 11 at night. I don't know, but it's a complete failure as far as just people getting to actually watch it. I watched maybe the first 2 inductions the next morning, and then that was it, because I couldn't watch it live. Let's see. So that's my number 2 loser. My number 1 winner is hard rock and heavy metal music. I feel like it made a comeback this weekend. You had Naomi's new entrance music, which rocked pretty hard. I got to hear that again, but I was like, whoa, okay, Naomi, okay. You had, of course, Living Color perform Call to Personality live for CM Punk, and I had a good flashback on how much I liked his previous entrance song, This Fire Burns, from Killswitch Engage. When they did that video package, I went, oh yeah, that was such a big song for so much of his career. And then, of course, on Sunday, we had the Kerry King of Slayer performance for Damian Priest, which was a kick-ass entrance. So hard rock and heavy metal is my number 1 winner of the WrestleMania weekend. My number 1 loser, Jay kind of touched on it, the ads. I don't mind we finish a match and we've got 3 or 4 minutes of commercials. I actually like that. It gives me a break. I can go to the bathroom. I can get a drink. I can reset. But what put it over the edge for me was it was during Cody's entrance that they went to the fucking drumstick ice cream man and like the drumstick crew. And I was like, no, now we've gone too far, guys. Now we've gone too far. So that was really took me out of the moment where we got Cena, we got Cody, and then I was like, drumsticks are really good. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. So that was the line that crossed it. That is my number 1 loser of WrestleMania weekend. Guys, let's talk into Raw after Mania. It was a hell of a show. I mean, we talked about before how some of the ones lately have been a little lackluster. There's so much to talk about, guys. We don't need to cover all of this stuff, but I'll just give the quick bullet points and then take it where you want to take it. Of course, Cena's promo, the Randy RKO setting up their Backlash match, presumably. Becky turning on Lyra. Rusev is back. we had Stephanie Vaquer up from NXT to challenge Io. Jay Uso's epic video package. Sami Zayn is back and he celebrated with Jay. But I was worried, guys. I was really worried. I was going no, 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 no. So that was a big one for me. Gunther attacking Michael Cole and Pat, and Braun again at the end of the show joining Seth and Paul. So much to happen. Joe, what was the things you want to take from this one?
Well, it did. This is not a negative. It didn't feel like a Raw after WrestleMania to me. It just felt like a good Raw.
Yeah, fair.
So we don't
I
need
got
to
you.
have that Raw after WrestleMania moment because the crowd wasn't into it as much as they have been in the past because quite honestly, they were exhausted. It was wrestling
Agree.
overload.
I thought the same thing, man. I'm like,
But
if
it's
you've
not
been to all these shows, come Monday, it's just like, I'm fucking tired.
But they just put on a good show from top to
Yeah.
bottom. Like Rusev coming back, taking out Alpha Academy. Okay, that works. Like him taking out a top guy would have been kind of like, okay, he never did that before, and like he did that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So him like establishing himself is fine. I love that Braun Breaker is with Heyman and Rollins now. That gets him out of the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
I love you mentioned video package of Jey Uso. What about the hometown celebration for El Grande Americano's video package?
That's fun.
That was good too. He didn't even have to be on the show. It was just a good show. The only thing that's like was like, okay, why did Becky have to turn? But whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that was definitely puzzling. I would be fine with that. I thought maybe they'd do it that night, but does she?
But who turns on Jay first, Sammy or Jimmy? Because they both were out there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that one I told you guys just now. Just yeah, when they did where they were both in the corners, and Sammy got down real quick and was staring. I'm like, no, that was getting me, man. So I don't know, maybe a slow burn with that one, but in that moment, whoo, I was getting ready for a disaster. But your point about Becky, I think, can we have Becky join up with like Seth and Paul and all that?
No.
Oh, I thought
No,
so.
keep them away. No,
I would do it.
keep Seth and Becky away from each other. It just reeks of. They did that before during the pandemic era. Or
No, you're
before that,
right.
and it didn't work when
But
Becky was Becky two belts, and it will just get people, myself included, thinking Triple H and Stephanie.
yeah, I
I
guess
think it's too similar. I think they got to stay away.
I just don't see like why then you would do this turn on Monday.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm lost, and I went, yeah, but when buddy Jay, not RJ on the show, but RJ Robleski, my buddy. He's like, what? Why is this? And I said, I don't like it unless maybe it's a thing with Heyman and Seth. So that was the only like light bulb that went in my head. Kev, yeah, your takeaways.
I think Joe hit so many good ones. I think when Rusev came out in Tozawa, when you saw him with the camera angle of Rusev standing there, his back to Tozawa, and you saw Tozawa climb it, you just knew that it was going to be
Dead man walking.
destruction. Joe, you hit so many good points. Randy, all of a sudden attacking Cena while Cena was talking, and just Cena laying there like he was out, and then Randy picked up the title and laid it nicely on John. I thought that was nice. Sets up Backlash. There could be a lot of good opportunities for matches. Shoot, maybe you get CM Punk and Roman versus Braun and Seth. Like Backlash potentially could be must see versus it's the WrestleMania hangover first pay-per-view.
A lot of
It's
rematches.
not really
At least
going to
they're
mean anything.
At least they're not calling it WrestleMania Backlash.
Yes, glad they stopped that.
And it's in St. Louis, so it makes sense that Randy's next.
It does.
Exactly. So that one, but Stephanie and Io's just so cute. Like she doesn't speak too much on the microphone, but it's a lot of I'm going to be your champion. Thank you very much. And the crowd loves her.
I agree,
You can-
Kev.
And she's just so smiley. Like you can tell. There's an amazing photo of her mom, and her dad after she won. And her mom, I can't tell if they're 45 years old or older. They just look so young. Kudos to them. But Dad's crying in the photo, so you can just see how thankful and happy they are for her. So she's just such a nice person. But that Stephanie EO, it teased what potentially could be coming down when Stephanie makes that jump within time. She's doing her thing in NXT and amazing. Then you get Julia, and then the little stare down between Rhea and Julia, like, and then when Julia, like, quote unquote, cowardly runs away, uh, it sets up so much stuff. I thought it was a exciting Raw because I know recently we were always like, the Raws after Mania don't really feel that great. Maybe this one also felt good because it wasn't the 3 hour push, right? And you don't know when it's gonna end. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. The one other thing I'll touch on is the Gunther attacking Cole and Pat. I thought that was really well done. I missed it at the very beginning. I literally stepped away to like put my laundry from the wash to the dryer. And I get a text from Jay Robleski again going, like, did fans just try to jump in the ring or like jump over the barricade? And I'm like, whoa, what did I miss here? And then I rewound it and saw that was Pat's boys. But to Jay and to a lot of McAfee haters I see online, when Gunther did that, like, oh, Gunther, do that a little bit more next time, Man, did you hear that crowd when McAfee punched Gunther when he was getting Cole? They popped. They
Yeah.
popped big. And when he was getting like helped out to the back, they were chanting for him. They were singing his theme song, the oh. So I'll say this, to the algorithm, listen, you can like what you like and don't like what you don't like. But that's another proof of like, you talk about wrestling Twitter's toxic and this and that. If you want to say that, then you got to acknowledge what you just saw with the crowd in person, because they clearly were behind Pat McAfee for that. So I don't want to see Pat face Gunther or nothing like that. No,
Well,
but
you're probably gonna at SummerSlam.
I think I could do without
for
it.
Gunther.
Huh? Step
That's
down?
a step down for
Yeah,
Gunther.
yeah. I don't think
He
I
needs,
need
he
to
needs
see
to go
that.
to SmackDown. He needs to go to SmackDown.
I don't need to see that, but I thought that was really, really well done. So that was my thought there. Couple quick things. Sunday they announced the Netflix WWE Unreal is the new show that's coming. That's promising to be a look inside the writer's room. Something that we've really not seen too much of, if anything, maybe in a documentary or two, like for like a quick moment. And then you get the old debate online. Are we exposing the business too far? Are we too far gone, Kev? What's your thoughts when you saw this show was coming out?
I don't like it. I like it, or I like the mystique of creative being behind doors. Just for the fact where I'll watch episode one,
Yeah.
but I guarantee it's going to be a lot of, hey, let's see what we can come up with. Hey, this like a lot of acting. I feel like, and I don't want, it to be. I want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's going to be scripted. I feel like it's not going to be natural. I'm not too keen on the idea of it being legit.
Okay.
I'll
Joe?
watch episode one though.
Joe?
I think it's too far, and I'm not going to watch it
Wow.
because
Right on.
I don't. It's like we got to take a break somewhat. It's like it is wrestling overload right now. Algorithm's right on that one.
Fair.
And the
Yeah.
best way to the best way to not be burned out by it is not taking so much in. Pick and choose what you want to watch. So I'm sticking with, okay, it exists. I don't really care. So I'm not going to watch it. I'm not
Okay.
going to go online and go, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to wrestling. I hate triple. No, I'm not going to do that because
Mhm.
I'm just going to choose not to watch it. And are they going to cancel the show because I'm not watching it? No.
Probably not.
So I'm just going to move on.
So I'm curious. I don't really I don't have strong feelings about like, oh, the business is ruined and exposed. Joe, you're a huge movie guy. You know, they put out making of behind the scenes all the
Yeah.
time on their DVDs, right? Like that is a thing. So I'm not
And I don't
like
watch them. I don't watch
that's fine too. Yeah, you don't have to, but like it's
or
not
what
a
about
crazy idea.
or what about when like DVDs, Blu-rays comes out? Like no one even gets those anymore, but they'd have here's the commentary. I
Yes,
don't want
yes.
people talking over the movie, so I don't turn it on.
Right.
Like,
So
oh, I need to know what Jeremy Irons thinks about Die Hard with a Vengeance when they were filming it. No, I don't care.
yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Leo, was there really room on the door?
Yes, there was. Kate, what do you think? Oh, shut up. I have an Oscar before you.
Oh
I
my
mean, like,
God.
like if that was the commentary of just the actors dogging on each other like it was a WrestleMania roast, then I would watch a movie with the commentary. But I don't need to hear the assistant director tell me about the lighting was difficult that day. I
Right.
don't care.
Yeah, I hear you. So that part doesn't really bother me because it's a thing that's in existence. But what would interest me if this show was done when Vince was in charge. That's
Oh no.
that's the holy grail, right? That's the stories that you hear about like Vince and the writers room going like, that's good shit. And we saw it in the Netflix documentary where Paul talked about the story of how Shane wanted to do something one way and Vince was like, here's a knife. If you want it bad enough, you've got to kill me. Those are the things. Like, I don't hear much about like the Triple H creative process and their writers. So, that's fine. If they would have said like Vince is opening up the curtain on how these writers room, that would have been my like, oh daddy, let's see what the crazy old man has got for us this week. So, is what
Yeah.
it is. But that's not happening.
Wrestling Twitter would have said, "Oh, that's so scripted. There's no way that really happened."
It is what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Did they say when that's coming out? I just know it's coming soon. I haven't
June?
seen June. Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll all check it out, or maybe Joe, not at all, but we'll see what's that all about. One last thing, guys. Let's do a quick rest in peace to Steve Mongo McMichael, Chicago Bears legend, and of course spent a lot of time in WCW after his playing days. First as a Nitro commentator. He did that for a little while and then took his talents to the ring, was a Four Horseman for a long time. And of course, if you follow, we're all sports guys, you know that he's battled ALS for a long, long time and succumbed to that, I think, earlier on Wednesday night. So sad to see that. I don't know if you guys have a quick Mongo McMichael moment. The one I've been seeing a lot this week, and it's one of those I have no recollection. Maybe I missed it when it happened, but it seems so funny in context now. Have you guys seen the clip of him walking up to the British Bulldog and like backstage Nitro and hitting the cup of coffee out of his hand? No?
No.
Okay. All right. I will find it. I'll
find
send
it.
it to you after the show. But he comes up to Bulldog. Bulldog's like turned around. And picture like the loading dock where the cars come in. And he's like, Bulldog. And he like, talks his jibber jabber. And he's like, and don't just stand there drinking coffee when a man's talking to you. And he hits the coffee cup out of his hand. It's like, what was he supposed to do? He wasn't even drinking the coffee. He's just holding the cup. So it was like, and then they just brawl and it gets pulled apart. So rest in peace to Mongo McMichael. Do you guys any other quick thoughts on Steve McMichael?
Not the best wrestler, right?
Right.
But he was always on TV, and he did introduce Deborah to me.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Deborah
I give
McMichael.
that kudos. And he was a name. That's the biggest thing. I knew the name before, so that was kind of cool because he was from the Chicago Bears, and so that gave him legitimate sport athleticism. I always thought, and this is nothing negative against him, I always just thought he was overshadowed while he was in the Horsemen. I just don't feel like it was ever a situation where he could have been, one of the best. So I feel like he was always overshadowed by, say, Ric Flair or Arn, or when Luger was in there. Like he was a great supporting cast member. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he was the muscle because it was
Muscle.
what? It was him, Arn, Benoit,
He was in there for a
Malenko.
little bit.
Like Flair, obviously.
Yeah, Flair. Yeah. So and like Arn was kind of hanging around, I think. Yeah.
Ah,
Joe?
I'm conflicted because it's like what he did for the wrestling business, like getting more eyes on it because he went from the NFL to being a full timer. Got to give props for that one, especially during the wrestling boom of the '90s and the Monday Night Wars. But as a Lions fan, it's like it's hard to, it's like he was
I
on
wondered
Bears.
if you'd go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did, but it only for like sports wise. Like,
Yeah.
but who didn't love the '85 Bears if you were alive during that time?
Correct.
So there's no, I mean, they had the funky QB known as McMahon, and they did the Super Bowl shuffle. Every kid loved that. So
Mhm.
it's like it was the Bears, but it's like, okay, fine. My Mongo memory was World War III, 1997, at the Palace of Auburn Hills. I was there, and he was scheduled to face a young rookie in like his third match by the name of Bill Goldberg.
What?
He took Goldberg out backstage and
Oh, that's
faced like
right.
Alex Wright instead. So I always say Mongo beat Goldberg after his fourth match because Goldberg wasn't able to compete that night.
Wow, an
My guess is
asterisk.
my guess is it's like if you go behind the scenes that they had a Netflix show at that time, they probably thought Goldberg wasn't ready for a pay-per-view match yet.
Yeah.
So Mongo faced like I think I want to say Alex Wright, but it was so long ago. But I just remember it was who's this Bill Goldberg guy?
Yeah.
Like why are we? And then he got taken out, and my friends and I were just like, good. No one knows who this Goldberg guy is anyway. He's like
No shit.
he's some sort of like nobody. We were wrong, but
Yeah.
we did see Goldberg for the first time on a pay-per-view laying backstage at the Palace of Auburn Hills while Mongo
Wow.
was putting the four up in the air saying that he won.
That's awesome. That's a
So yeah,
great memory.
go back and check out
Yeah, I'd
World
like
War
to.
III just to see like, it really happened.
Yeah. Wow.
And I
Mongo
was
was
there.
Goldberg's
Aha.
kryptonite. As some like to say on this show. All right, that'll do it, guys. I think the fourth quarter is about to start, Pistons, Knicks, so I'll let you guys go off to that. Thank you for your participation. Thank you to the algorithm for his presence as well. And it's youtube.com/That Wrestling Podcast, at That WrestlePod for social media, and whatamaneuver.net for the merchandise. Again, for Jason, Joe, Kevin, and myself, Brian, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Enjoy wrestling. We will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!